Hello, welcome to Module 3 of the SWC/UST Masterclass, and in this module we'll be talking about Unitsky string technology and showing you why it is the ultimate transport solution. Once again, my name is Bossey, and it's my pleasure to make these videos for you, to bring to you the knowledge of this wonderful opportunity. If you haven't gone through Modules 1 and Module 2, I encourage you to go back and go through those modules before you go through Module 3. The reason for that is because that will provide you the foundation for you to understand Module 3. In teaching, we call this scaffolding, whereby knowledge is built on already established knowledge. Just like you cannot teach a child to read without first teaching them the alphabets and the phonic sounds. The same way, I would not encourage you to try and understand Module 3 without going through Module 1 and Module 2, except you already have a background knowledge of shares, dividends, and so on. All right. Now, the content of this video, like I always say, is for educational purpose, and it is not intended as investment advice. So make sure you do your own due diligence and check with your financial advisor before you make any financial decision. Now, like I always like to start with the problems. To evaluate the importance of any solution, you need to know the scale of the problem that solution is trying to solve. Now, the problem is where the money is, and the bigger the problem, the bigger the reward for its solution. If you solve a community's problem, you get a community's reward. If you solve a nation's problem, you get a national reward. And if you solve a global problem, you get a global reward. So the bigger the problems, the bigger the reward. And the higher the number of persons affected by that problem, the higher the reward. Modern transportation is destroying the planet. In fact, modern transportation as it is currently constituted is a global problem, and I will be showing you why. The problems of modern transportation include, but are not limited to, the following. Number 1 is climate change and global warming. Number 2 is land use and nature's disappearance. Number 3 is traffic congestion, traffic accidents, and deaths. Now let's go through them one after the other. Let's start with climate change. You see, there's this thing called greenhouse gas, and it heats the atmosphere by about 1.5 degrees Celsius every year. And if it continues like this, in 12 years' time, we'll be facing a climate crisis. We're already facing climate crisis, but it will be worse. We'll be having droughts, forest fires, inundation of coastlines, and so on. And it's simply because the environment or the climate is getting hotter, and it is melting the ice cap in the polar regions. And when they melt and break off the ice shelf, get into the sea level increases, and it floods, it inundates the coastline and floods those places that used to be near the coastline. Places like Lagos, for example, that is situated very close to the coastline, can be underwater in 12 years' time if something is not done about this. Another issue is the issue of forest fire, which, as a result of the hot climate, can just ignite and then begin to burn. We have seen issues like this happen in Australia and some parts of the world. So climate change is a global problem, and we are all affected. Now, it is estimated that up to 30% of this greenhouse gas that is causing this global warming is produced by cars. In fact, in the USA and Europe was where these statistics was drawn. Now imagine places like Africa, where we don't even have emission laws that are being enforced. Because the USA and Europe, they have emission standards, but in Africa it is a very different situation. And then again, up to about 4,600 kilograms of carbon dioxide is emitted by one car in a year. Multiply that by the number of cars we have in the world today, and you see we have a real problem in our hands. Another issue is the disappearance of nature. To create roads, you have to change river channels. You have to dig through forests that produce oxygen. You have to destroy millions and millions of fertile land. Over 200,000 kilometers square of soil is under asphalt, and that is soil you can no longer cultivate on. That is another problem. And the third problem is the death of animals, the death of humans, and traffic congestion. In fact, millions of animals die every year in the USA, and they are decreasing in number due to this constant death. They even have a name for it. They call it roadkill. So this is because roads now pass through where forest used to be, and animals walking through those roads sometimes get knocked down by cars. Even humans are even the largest victim when it comes to death by traffic accident. People have been amputated, people have died, people's lives have changed simply because of road traffic accidents. Another issue is the issue of traffic congestion, and the whole world is looking for a sustainable solution to all these problems. They've tried many different things. They've tried using electric motor, which solves one of the problems. At least it solves the problem of emission. They've tried using exhaust filters to also solve that same problem of emission. They've tried improving the standard of fuel and even cultivate more trees. But these things only solve part of the problem. They do not solve the entire problem. For instance, electric cars will still run on land, and they can still cause road traffic accidents. They can still cause traffic congestion. So they do not solve the entire problem, only a part of the problem. So we have Unitsky string technology coming into the picture and creating what? The best solution. They create above ground electric vehicles that run on high strength string wheels, and I'll be showing you the advantage of this mode of transportation in the next slide. Now, what is Unitsky? Unitsky is an above ground transport that runs on high strength string wheels. The project has a number of advantages that distinguishes Skyway, it's also called Skyway, from other modes of transport. So I'll be alternating between the names Unitsky, Skyway, Unitsky string technology. Just get familiar with the term. Now, the Unitsky track structure is on supports, like you can see in the video attached, that take up little or no space on the ground and do not affect the ecosystem because it runs on electricity. The water bodies remain intact. The forest remains untouched. And the Unitsky transport is controlled by the autopilot, potentially reducing the number of accidents. For the construction of the Unitsky track, they need much less resources than for any other form of transportation, so it is much cheaper to construct. Then again, the aerodynamics of the Unitsky transport allows it to safely develop speeds of up to 500 kilometers. And today, this transport project is receiving development fund through people's funding. Unitsky String Technologies Unitsky is an innovative transport that moves above the ground on high-strength string rails, doesn't cause traffic jams because it's located above the ground, does not pollute the environment because it runs on electricity, and has no borders as it can be built in any terrain. It saves nature. As you can see, you can construct it and still have your trees intact without having to destroy forest because it takes up minimal space on the ground. 100 meters square occupies just 1 meters square occupies 1 kilometer of the string track on the ground. This is much better than what we have had before now. Also, it eliminates road traffic accidents as there is no possibility of collision with animals and human beings. Now, these are the advantages of the Unitsky transport. It's on an anchor support, can develop safe speeds of up to 100 to 500 km per hour and can carry up to 25 passengers per hour and more. So on safety, Unitsky is suspended above the ground. It has absence of crossroads and eliminates the possibility of traffic accidents with ground transport, pedestrians, domestic and wild animal. No human factor due to the intelligent control system. It also has anti-derailment system and high resistance to natural disasters and vandalism. It has advanced mobility, can develop high speed of movement up to 100 to 500 kilometers per hour. This is a whole lot faster than what we have at the moment. It has high performance of up to 25,000 passengers per hour or more. It has no traffic jam, minimum traffic intervals. In fact, these vehicles can travel at intervals of 2 seconds. It has an elevation of track structure above the ground and the possibility of building over existing utility lines. This transport is green. It has less material consumption than other modes of transportation. It has minimal local land allocation, reduced emission, low energy consumption, nature conservation, and very little noise level. And then again, it is adaptable. It can be built across difficult terrains. It has unlimited track length, can be used in all weather conditions, and it has the possibility to combine different types of tracks and steel wheel electric vehicle model. Now, I'm sure you are wondering, has this thing been constructed in any part of the world? Where has it been shown and demonstrated, or is this just an idea? Now, the Unitsky String Transport Testing Center in Belarus, called the Eco Techno Park, is a 36-hectare Unitsky String Testing Center in Belarus, where they have tested 5 types of string tracks, 8 types of U-pods, and over 6,000 visitors to that facility have become passengers. This is not an animated video. This is an actual video from the Eco Techno Park in Belarus, where passengers have come to witness, and then investors have come to witness this particular technology in action. They have actually been transported in our unibus, and they have seen for themselves firsthand how this technology operates in a very safe and environmental friendly manner. They have come to witness what their investment is actually creating, the technology that their investment is helping to bet into the world. Another place where this technology has been demonstrated is the Skyway Test Center in the Emirate of Sharjah. And this project was launched in October 2019 when they started constructing the first test section of the Unitsky Test Center. Today, the Unitsky Test Center has been visited by thousands of visitors, both for the possibility of implementing commercial projects of this transport system in their locality, and to witness firsthand just how this transport is different from every other mode of transport existing before it. This transport system is developing due to crowdfunding. There are 3 ways, like I stated in module 2 of this series. There are 3 ways a company can develop its idea. Number 1 is to take loans from the bank. Number 2 is to seek out angel investors or high net worth individuals to invest in their idea or in their startup. Number 3 is to crowdfund their idea. Skyway or Unitsky String Technology chooses to develop through crowdfunding, which gives everyone the opportunity to invest in the development of this transport system and get a share in this international environmental project. So far, we've attracted investors from over 200 countries of the world, and it allows for minimal entry barrier as investment starts at a minimum amount of just $50. The project, Unitsky String Technology, like I said, uses crowdfunding as a financing method. This crowdfunding opportunity was launched in 2014, and it allows individuals the opportunity for co-ownership of the Unitsky String Technology. The platform that allows for this, the crowdfunding platform, is called Sky World Community, and they allow individuals to purchase the pre-IPO allotment unit of Unitsky String Technology and aid in its development. They outlined 15 developmental stages for this transport system, and the 15th stage ends with the initial public offering of the shares on the stock exchange market. Now, since 2014, this company has achieved 14 of the 15 stages. They are currently in stage 14, sub-stage 2, which tells you that we are very close to the end of the pre-IPO. We are very close to the entry into the stock market, because once we hit stage 15 and complete it, stage 15 basically ends with the entry into the stock exchange market. So we are in stage 14.2, very close to the end, much closer to the end than to the beginning. Now, with every stage that this company achieves and gets closer to IPO, the risk reduces alongside the discount on the investment. So those who invested in earlier stages, they got better discount for their investment. People investing around stage 1, where the company had not developed its test center and it was just an idea on paper, They did not see all this that we are seeing today. So they took a bigger risk and they got a better discount for that, which is called the investment risk premium. Now, investment in Unitsky string technology gives individuals the right to receive dividends from all successfully implemented USky projects. So if you invest, it means that when this company begins to implement commercial projects and make profit, from that profit, when they do their quarterly financials, you will be paid a dividend. Your investment can also contribute to saving millions of lives of people and animals from death on the roads. Your investment can also preserve hundreds of squares of kilometers of forest, fields, and reservoirs that may have been destroyed for the construction of roads. So think about this. You are not just investing for personal financial benefit, you are actually investing to save the planet. Now also note that UST's financing is coming to an end, because out of 15 stages of development, we are in the 14th stage. And after the 15th stage, it will no longer be possible to invest in UST as a co-owner. It will only be possible to invest in individual targeted projects. For example, maybe they want to do a project in Dubai, and you can invest in that project. But to invest as a co-owner of all the technology is only possible within this pre-IPO stage. So I encourage you, do your due diligence and make a decision as quickly as possible. Now, if you wish to invest, all you need to do is to register in the personal office of the Skyward community website, choose a suitable investment offer and the method of payment convenient or comfortable for you. They have installment payment option, which allows individual to take larger investment packages and pay for it through a monthly installment over a certain duration or a fixed amount of time. And then after you have made your investment, you will get a certificate and an extract from the register confirming your ownership of the shares. So proceed to module 4 of this series, where you will be learning about the opportunity for co-ownership of Unitsky string technology through Skyward community. So we'll be talking more about Skyward community in module 4. Thank you very much and see you in the next module.